Bezrat Hashem, the Gemara this morning, Baba Metzia, the page 75b, the Gemara is going to teach us about lending money with interest. Tanya Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai Omer, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai says, Minayin lanoshe b'chavero maneh, ve'eno ragil להקדים לו שלום, שאסור להקדים לו שלום. Don't think interest is only money. Somebody, Reuven never spoke to Shimon. And one day, Reuven needed to borrow money from Shimon. He goes over to him, and Shimon was nice enough. He says, yeah, no problem, I would lend you money. Never Reuven went over to Shimon and say good morning. And all of a sudden, just because Shimon lent the money, he wants to go every morning. Oh, how are you? How is your wife? How is your kids doing? Says Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, Talmud lomar, neshech kol davar asher yishach afilu dibur asur. Even saying a good morning, an innocent good morning, you never said that. Why are you saying it now? Because he lent you money? This is considered interest from the part of the borrower. Now, the Gemara says, Amar Abaye, malve over bekulam. The one who lent the money, he transgresses like 4 or 5 transgressions of the Torah. The one who went to borrow, he also is in default. And if there's witnesses, they're also making a sin, being witness on a transaction which the Torah prohibits completely. Tanya Rabbi Shimon Omer, Rabbi Shimon says, Malve ribit yoter ma shemarvichim mafsidim. You should know something. Don't think lending money with interest is a good business. More that you think to gain with, you're going to lose on the long run. I saw once a story in Poland. There was a rich man used to lend money with interest. Okay, he didn't ask rabbis and he wasn't interested to ask rabbis, but unfortunately Jews that needed to have loans and they couldn't get it from the bank used to go over to him, and he used to be like a loan shark. What happened was, when he passed away, the Chevra Kadisha went over to the rabbi and says, what should we do with this person? Are we allowed to bury him in a Jewish cemetery? So the rabbi says, for sure. But the only thing, how much is a plot? How much is a place to bury somebody? So at that time they said like $500. So the rabbi says, for him, $5,000. And if they have any problem, if the family has any problem, let them come to me. So when time came, they asked him the $5,000. The family was not at all happy. They felt like it's an abuse. Maybe because we have so much money, that's why they want a revenge from us. So they went over to the rabbi and says, why is this abuse? The rabbi says, take it or leave it. If you want to bury him, you can bury him. If you don't, you can go to a cemetery of Goyim and bury him there. The family got so upset, and since they had connections with the governor of the city, they went over to complain about the rabbi to the governor. The governor right away convoked the rabbi and asked him, why is this injustice made for this family? So the rabbi says, listen, Mr. Governor, let me explain you something. When somebody gets buried, we charge only $5,000 for the place, $500 for the place. You know why? Because when Mashiach is going to come, this person is going to get up, is going to be revived with Mashiach, and then he's going to return the land to the Chevra Kadisha. So $500 is a reasonable price. But it says in the Gemara that somebody who lend money with interest is not going to get the merit to revive at the time of Mashiach. Therefore, he's buried there forever. Listen, being buried there forever has to have a reasonable price also. $5,000 is a reasonable price. The governor was convinced and he told the rabbi, you charge and you do what you have to do. To tell you, it's very, very important not to lend your money with rebit. Now, when we're saying interest, as we saw just now, interest can be with words. Going over to somebody, start to say hello, hi, how are you, and which you didn't have in habit to do so, can be considered interest if you never had the habit to go over, and now because you borrowed money, you're going over, so that's rebit. But let me give you a few practical example in life. You lend your Visa card to somebody, right? He has to make sure, right? We're talking always between Jews. A goy and a Jew, there's no isur of lending a goy with rebit, with interest. There's no either an isur to borrow, right, money from a goy with interest. So we're speaking about 2 Jews, Reuven and Shimon. Now, if somebody give you his Visa card, you're not allowed, right, to pay him the interest that is charged on the card. So basically, the one who borrowed the card, right, supposed to return the sum of money that he took on the card before the 30 days, before the other person gets the statement, and then there's going to be interest on the statement. If it happens to be that the person couldn't pay and interest was charged by the bank, you cannot ask the other person that to who you lend the visa to give you back the interest also. You can ask only for the capital, not more than that. And even if he's nice enough and he comes and he wants to give it to you, you are not allowed. Second scenario, you go over to a friend and tell him you have difficulty to get mortgage from the bank. It can be a father, it can be a brother, whoever. And this person goes to the bank and gets a loan for you. And now you are returning him the money and he's returning the money to the bank. This is considered interest. Why? Because the bank doesn't know the second person. The bank knows only the first person. Comes out, what is happening over here? The bank charges the first person, and the first person is charging the second person. So when he pays to him, it's like he's giving the interest to him and he's paying to the bank. This is considered interest, right? Also, you're not allowed to tell somebody if you're in business and telling him, I'll charge you $120 for this, let's say it's a fridge, he's selling you a fridge or a car, whatever, but if you're willing to give me the money right away, I'll give you a discount of 10%. Giving a discount because the person pays faster is also considered interest. In some cases, it will be permissible, but most of the cases, it's not permitted, right? So there's a lot of cases of interest, taking interest, borrowing with interest, lending with interest. This is something that's to be studied very carefully. It's not the time for that. We have only 5 minutes, but for now, I wish you a great day. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.